Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Guys, before food can make us better, we gotta love that food and we gotta make it delicious to love it. So if you're trying to change your healthy eating habits and you haven't been succeeding a lot, chances are you didn't learn how to make your healthy food just as delicious as all those other unhealthy or not so healthy, not so good for you foods that you enjoy so much. A lot of my clients, a lot of my friends, when they want to start eating healthier foods, they forget that they still need to make that food delicious. Like sometimes people switch from ordering food from restaurants or different cafes, different shops, from ordering food or buying ready-to-eat meals to foods that they cook themselves, and they don't put any work into or any thought into making this food delicious. So you end up going from all these foods with flavors enhancers and different sauces and dressings to very bland food. And it's not that the ingredients are bland. It just, again, you haven't put any thought, any energy, any thinking into making this new healthier foods delicious. And I'm going to tell you how to make your healthy foods, any foods, even if you decide to eat broccoli and chicken breast or tuna for a period of time, how to make any food super delicious, tasting different every time. You don't have to be a chef. You don't have to learn a lot of cooking skills. It's actually very easy and simple. And once you start choosing really amazing raw ingredients, meaning once you learn how to choose, those amazing vegetables full of flavor and color and amazing protein-rich foods like fish and lamb or maybe beef and eggs and different kinds of shellfish and poultry. Once you learn how to choose good quality and not being stingy with choosing good quality ingredients. And once you learn how to add flavor, amazing flavors from around the world to those healthy foods, you'll enjoy that much more than any of the takeout meals because it's gonna taste better and it's gonna make you feel so much better. So here are a couple of my secrets how I make any healthy ingredients, and yes, even broccoli and spinach, taste amazingly. And it's not just my opinion. All of my friends who try it, they're like, you gotta be a chef. You gotta open your restaurant. And they don't realize how easy it is to make good ingredients taste that good. So let's get into that, right? What I do to make any of my meals, like for example, today I'm going to be cooking lamb and asparagus and probably some spinach. So sounds quite boring, right? How do I make it taste kind of exotic with flavors from around the world in a simple way, and also add this umami flavor or savor flavor that our tongue can taste, that actually taste amino acids, but some foods, but in our brain, it translates into the taste of deliciousness. Now, how do I translate this, 3 simple ingredients into something that tastes absolutely amazing, like it was cooked by chef in some 5-star restaurant without having to do all the work and having to learn on the skills? Very simply, guys, again. So you can order online or go to your favorite. I recommend good quality grocery store, not like some, Tesco or some, corner shop, but something more that has more selection, or you can order online on Amazon. They have a lot of those. And what I'm talking about is spices and spice mixes. Now, we're not just going for getting some, I don't know, dry cilantro or dry basil. No, what you actually want to do, you want to go to a place online or, real life store, and you find the section in a supermarket where they sell spice and herbs mixes that either pre-mixed for certain cuisine, like Indian cuisine, or Mexican cuisine or Italian cuisine, or they have some chefs worked with those supermarkets and they made their signature blends of herbs and spices that are specifically designed for, let's say, fish or meat or seafood. Now, you can use them with anything. They seem to be better suited for those specific foods. So I go to Waitrose, for example, and they have this whole stand of herbs and spices, and some are made by some really amazing chefs. Some are made by chefs inside of the company, or they are well-known mixes that were designed, for specific cuisine. Like they have Italian, they have Mexican, they have like curry spices. So it's a mix of spices with that specific flavor. And then they have different, like Malabar Marsala is one of my favorite, or Manipur Marsala. Those like exotic names. They have like aromatic Thai, or fajita, or cajun, or pilaf, and a lot of those words I don't even know what they mean, but these represent like different cuisines or Creole from around the world. And inside of them, they have herbs, spices. I always choose the ones without salt, without sugar. And I highly recommend you to do so without any preservatives or additives. Just choose the ones they have herbs, spices, and that's it. So I choose a few of those, and of course, there's going to be trial and error period. When you buy some, you like some, you don't like some. That's totally fine. That's how life works. So you choose a few of those, and eventually you're going to find your favorite ones. And now, no matter what you cook, you add those mixes of spices and herbs, and it takes a minute to add them into your cooking. I usually add them at like last 5 minutes of my cooking. I add spices and herbs, and I mix my food, and I let it cook for another 5 minutes. And you can make these simple ingredients like your spinach, your asparagus, your lamb taste like it was made by some Indian chef or some Italian chef. Depending on the spices or herbs you add, your food gonna taste exactly that. So whenever I add some curry spices, my food tastes Indian. Whenever I add Italian mix, it tastes Italian. So that's simple hack one. So use herbs and spices and find your favorites, and your food starts tasting exciting, and it's so simple. So I use that hack. Another one is whenever I cook, I use 3 simple ingredients. I use red onion. I cut it. I put some water in my cooking pan. So I put my cut onions. Don't have to be too small, but cut your onions. I add mushrooms. Chestnut mushrooms seem to work the best. Chestnut or portobello mushrooms. They don't have any like specific taste, but they have that umami or delicious flavor. So I cut my mushrooms. Also, I add them to my water and to my onions, and I add a teaspoon or a tablespoon, usually like more of a tablespoon of tomato puree. I choose this brand that I find in local store Asda, and it's like small cans, organic tomato puree, and it's basically kind of like very concentrated tomato paste. And I put it in a small cup. I mix it with a little bit of water, and so you have this kind of like tomato juice, but not really. And I put it to my onions and to my mushrooms, and that's the base of all of my meals. And guys, why that? Because mushrooms and tomatoes specifically are full of those compounds that deliver umami flavor or deliciousness flavor to anything we cook. And so I saute. Then, I add water, I add onions, I add mushrooms, I add a little bit of tomato paste that comes in can. You don't need to cut, tomatoes. And by the way, with onions, with mushrooms, you can cut a lot of them and save them. So every day you don't have to cut them, but they're ready to go in your fridge. Put them in some Tupperware or some container. Probably glass container is better because some acids might eat out some of your plastic container. So anyhow, so you have this pre-cut, your tomato paste, it's a paste. You don't need to do anything with that. You add it at the beginning of your cooking to your pan. Then you put in my case, I'm gonna put my lamb, I'm gonna put my asparagus in there. Spinach I usually put a little bit of later because it's tender, and to preserve more vitamins and minerals I usually put it also like last maybe 7 minutes of my cooking. So I put all of this medium heat. There is some water. As you remember, we do oil-free cooking to keep us lean, not just healthy. So I put all of this medium heat. I sauteed for like 14 minutes or so. Then I add my spinach. I add my spices and herbs mixes that we talked about. I salt it to my taste, and I mix it, and I let it cook for another 5-6 minutes. And you'll be blown away, guys, how good any of your healthy ingredients taste. They're gonna taste like some cuisine from around the world, like some chef made it, and you didn't have to work that hard at all. You just choose spices and herbs, and you add your mushrooms, your onions, your tomato paste to your meal. You mix it, you cook it, and it tastes so amazing. And then you're gonna start loving your delicious and healthy meals instead of thinking, oh, they're so boring. They actually gonna be full of flavor. And these are couple of my hacks that allow me to cook really delicious, tasting differently every time meals that anyone who tries them, they like, this is so good. You gotta open your restaurant. But I'm working on my meal delivery service and business, but it's super easy. You can do it. Anyone can do it. And it's been a secret of mine that my parents learned, my sister learned, all my friends are learning. It's been a secret of mine for ages now. And I just buy a whole bunch of different spices, herbs, mixes, and I try new ones. Sometimes I like them, sometimes not so much, and then I don't buy them again. So to each of my meals, I add some onions, mushrooms, portobello or chestnut. Those are my favorites. I add some tomato paste, and then again I cook. I add my spices and herbs, salt, and it tastes amazing, guys. So this is how you make your healthy food delicious. And another piece of advice, I always use oil-free cooking most of the time, unless I want to add some more coconutty flavor. Then I use coconut oil. Sometimes I add some olive oil, and they're good oils. It just I want to stay the leanest. Like I love my look. And that's why I don't use a lot of oils while cooking. And whenever my clients are losing weight, I always recommend them to switch to oil-free cooking. You won't believe how many calories it's going to save you. So oil-free cooking. But if you're like your oils, you're not losing weight, you might be even building some muscle and you need your calories. So add your coconut oil, add your olive oil. Coconut oil usually makes it taste more like tropical or Thai or Indian, whereas things like olive oil make your food taste more Mediterranean. So I suggest matching like Italian herbs or French herbs, European herbs, or also Middle East like Lebanon or Turkish. I recommend using that with coconut oil. and more things like Thai or Indian use with coconut oil. So that just, a personal piece of advice, what I learned from cooking, what matches the best. But anyhow, again, use your spices and herbs mixes, get them online, get them at a good grocery store, add onions, mushrooms, and tomato paste, and your food gonna taste, your healthy food gonna taste so delicious, like the best chefs cooked it for you, and those chefs came from all around the world, from Mexico to Thailand. And that's about it, guys. That's what I wanted to share with you today. Super simple and delicious hacks to make any of your healthy ingredients just burst of flavor. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to reach out. If you need a little bit more specific advice, maybe I haven't explained something really clearly, so please do reach out either on my social media. By the way, on my Instagram, I posted 1-minute video, 1-minute reel showing how I make this trick happen, this delicious burst of flavor. And so check out my Instagram for the video. And if you still have any questions, feel free to comment on that video. Feel free to reach out via DM. Feel free to send me email, angela@createyourself.today. Maybe you have your own hacks. Please do share. Please help other people to cook healthy and delicious meals. So reach out, share, ask questions, share this podcast episode with anyone who's struggling to enjoy their healthy food. And guys, thank you for tuning in. Oh, guys, today is the last day to vote for me. I'm in the 8th place, and this is the first round. So I gotta come further than 15. So I'm pretty safe place, but still, please, guys, if you have Facebook, spend a minute and please vote for me. Please share this voting link with your friends. I want to be on the cover of the magazine so I could share my message, my tips, my nutrition guidance with more people. So the link is in the show notes. It requires Facebook and it takes a minute to vote. So please do use it. Vote for me. It's the last day of the round 1. So please do so. It would mean a world to me. And guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Cook some delicious and healthy meal today. And as usual, till next time, eat better daily.